Hey there guys, what's going on? Today we've got another video in our Best Weapons of Modern Warfare series. There is big news in the world of Call of Duty at the moment. It's all been but confirmed that a remastered Modern Warfare 2 campaign is releasing tomorrow. Like, we even saw the store link from the German PlayStation store, so it's definitely something that is happening very, very soon. But in this video, we're taking a trip back to a less liked Call of Duty. One of the best weapons in Call of Duty Ghosts was the Honeybadger, which was an assault rifle that was integrally silenced with a fast rate of fire and low recoil. And I think we've faithfully recreated that in Modern Warfare here. There were a lot of things to dislike about Call of Duty Ghosts, like the map size and just sort of the overall feel of the game wasn't super great, but the Honeybadger was not one of them. So with this Honeybadger class setup, you've got the juiced up M13, which definitely isn't one of the best weapons in the game, but with this class setup is definitely pretty powerful and loads of fun to use. But just before we do get into talking about this hidden Honeybadger class, let's try and get this video to 8 likes. The support for the videos has continued to be fantastic recently, so huge thank you to all of you guys for all the comments, likes and views, etc. We did of course recently hit 600 subscribers and we are well on our way to 700 now, so make sure you do hit that subscribe button with the notifications turned on so you get notified when my videos go live. If everyone who was subscribed got one friend to subscribe, we'd easily have smashed 1,000 subscribers by now, which would just be unbelievable. Right, so let's talk about this new hidden Honeybadger class for the M13. Okay, so as I said, this is basically the M13 or Honeybadger, and that's an assault rifle with a fast fire rate and low recoil. It doesn't do super amazing damage, it's probably closer to 25 damage per shot than it is about 30, so it's like a 4 to 6 shot kill at most ranges, but with the insane fire rate, it's not too much to worry about. I've been having loads of fun with this class recently. Previously, I had a little bit of a problem with the recoil control on the M13, but with this class, recoil is not too big of a factor. It's super easy to engage at close and medium ranges, while you can struggle a little bit at long ranges. That's more due to the actual range distance of the gun. As I said already, this is definitely one of the more interesting and fun weapons to run around with. You can do some serious work with this. It's not the best, but it is still super fun to use. So let's talk about this class setup here. So we'll start off with our sidearm perks and grenade choices as we usually do. We'll go over them quickly as we usually do again, because they are pretty similar on most of my classes. Our sidearm, of course, is the 357 Snake Shot because it's still one of the most powerful weapons in the game, and it is a fantastic sidearm. We've set it up like this. We've got the 357 Long Barrel, the 1mW laser, the lightweight trigger, the Snake Shot, and the stippled grip tape. This is perfect for getting up close and personal, and if you do run out of M13 ammo, it's pretty fantastic. Running out of ammo with the M13 is pretty common with the high rate of fire. We've also seen a little bit of a change in the perk meta recently. I know I talk about this a lot, but these are the most common perks at the moment. Perk 1 is of course either EOD or my new favorite, Quick Fix, which does start that health regeneration as soon as you do get a kill, which is super powerful and can actually be a little bit better than a stim shot sometimes. But EOD is actually coming more into the forefront with the newly added incendiary shotgun, so that can help save your life a little bit. It's not super effective against it, and it could probably receive a buff to help against it a little bit more. But yeah, these are your main choices here. Perk 2, we do of course have Ghost, which is a fantastic option for staying off the radar. Being stealthy, hiding from UAVs is a super powerful option, and it does work in combination really well with our third perk, which is Tracker. This does let you see enemy footsteps, and you can also see the enemy death markers, and it hides the markers of enemies that you do kill. This is a really powerful combination for stealth and helping you control the flanks around the map. Super, super strong. In the lethal slot, we always roll with the C4, but each one of these lethal options is a fantastic option in its own right. Basically, every single one of these does its own job in a specific way, and they're all really powerful, so you can sort of choose what you prefer. And the tactical is of course the stim shot, because I don't think any other option is worth really taking. Like, the flashes and stuns are of course really overpowered in this game, but I don't think it's worth using them over something like a stim shot. So starting off with the attachments here, we're actually blocked out of the muzzle slot because of the barrel that we've chosen, so no monolithic suppressor for us. But in the barrel slot, we've chosen the Tempest Cyclone. With this, we do get sound suppression and bullet velocity. This is a little bit different to the usual barrels that we do use. Instead of like the recoil control, damage range, and bullet velocity, we get more simplified stats. This does cost us a little bit of aim down sight speed, but we can make up for that with other attachments, so it's not too much to worry about. With the Tempest Cyclone, the already high rate of fire is utilised with the increased bullet velocity to get our shots on target as quickly as possible. We can be pretty accurate with this barrel, which is a little bit surprising when you compare it to something like the Tempest Marksman. This is way more accurate, but the Cyclone does still have quite high control. It's also interesting to note that the Tempest Marksman barrel, which is the one with the usual stats that we do take, doesn't really affect the gun in a massive way. It's not like we're increasing our bullet damage or anything like that. We can get recoil attachments from elsewhere, and the bullet velocity doesn't come included on the Cyclone. Plus, the Cyclone makes the weapon sound excellent. This is one of those attachments that combine to make our Honeybadger class, and it is a great attachment to start with for this very powerful class setup. Next, we've actually got the optic slot here. We've chosen the GI Mini Reflex, as I believe it's one of the best optics in the game. You get a really clear picture that is not obstructed by a super thick border. This really does help us find and track our targets way more easily than with just the standard iron sights. I'm not a huge fan of the iron sights on the M13, they're a little bit obstructive, but they can definitely get in the way and cause you to struggle a little bit at long distances where the gun already does struggle. So we don't really need two things working against us at long distances. We do lose a little bit of aim down sight speed when we do use an optic, but again, we got that covered with other attachments, so that's not too big of a deal. I'd also recommend, if you're looking for a different option, the Cronin LP 945 Mini Reflex, as that's another side option that is very, very powerful. They're both solid choices, and they're definitely both worth choosing. So for the sake of having a complete class, we are of course using the GI Mini Reflex, as it's one of my favorite sights in the game, and one of the best for sure. Perfect as the second attachment in this class setup. Next, we've got the stock slot here, and we've chosen the M13 Skeleton stock. With this, we get aim walking movement speed and aim down sight speed. These are the old quick draw and stalker bonuses from previous games, and it is a fantastic combination to have in a stock, and it fits this class really, really nicely. We're able to get a lot more accurate and maintain our speed while we're aiming down sight, which helps us move from kill to kill. And increasing our aim down sight speed is always going to be a massive bonus for pretty much every weapon in this game. It's just one of those stats that gets used in pretty much every gunfight. It's just such a necessary stat. Most of the time, if you do get your sights up first and send the first bullet at your enemy, you're very likely to win that fight. You can see in the gameplay in the background that sometimes, even when we don't have our sights up, we can still win fights because of how quickly we can ADS. The no stock option is also another choice that is worth looking at. With this, we do get movement speed and aim down sight speed, but I've not gone with it here, as I think it might tip our accuracy and recoil control to the side of being a little bit unreliable. So in the stock slot, we of course got the M13 Skeleton stock, and that is another fantastic option in this Honeybadger class. With this class, we definitely need something to tackle the recoil from the M13, and that's our Underbarrel slot, of course. With this here, we've got the Commando foregrip for that recoil stabilization to control our horizontal recoil and the aiming stability. We do of course lose a little bit of movement speed here, but like I said, we're not super fussed about moving slightly slower, so it's no big deal. The M13 does have a little bit of kick, and without the Commando foregrip, the recoil can be a little unreliable at times, so again, you can struggle at those longer ranges. However, the Commando foregrip does make us really reliable at pretty much all ranges, and especially medium to long range. You'll be hitting more shots with this, and that's basically as simple as that. You could also make a case for the Merc foregrip, which does give us recoil control and hipfire accuracy instead of that aiming stability, which if you're being more aggressive, you can definitely get away with hipfiring people with this thing. It's just sort of a little bit lazy, but it's still pretty fun. So do test these for yourself. I'm definitely going with the Commando foregrip, and that is the fourth attachment for this fantastic M13 class. And lastly, we've got the attachment that helps bring it together, this Honeybadger class setup. In the ammo slot, we do of course have the .300 Blackout 30 round mags. With this, we do get damage range, no visible traces, and no enemy skulls, while losing a little bit of bullet velocity, which we can cover with the Cyclone barrel and recoil control, which is not a huge deal. These has two main effects, of course. Firstly, it allows us to be more effective at range. Extending out our damage range is always going to be a fantastic option, especially when we want our 4 to 6 shot kill range to be out as far as possible. And secondly, this has the same secondary effect as Tracker and allows us to be really stealthy, and the enemy team will have a super hard time noticing where they're being killed from. So with the combination of the Tracker perk, the .300 Blackout rounds, and the Cyclone barrel, we've basically got the ultimate stealth weapon, and it's actually surprisingly powerful and definitely one of the more fun weapons to use in the game. And that's why in the ammo slot we've chosen the .300 Blackout rounds as the last attachment for this class. So of course here, this is our full class setup as usual, all the attachments that we've chosen combined to make the M13 or the Honeybadger as powerful as it can be. Overall, this is a fantastic option if you're a big fan of playing stealthily. You can move quickly around the map and control the flanks, and the enemy will have a hard time tracking down exactly where you've killed them from. Plus, this class setup takes us back to one of the most powerful weapons from a Call of Duty from a different era. Ghost definitely was not one of the best games in this series, but this is one of the things that did stand out in an otherwise disappointing game, along with that other map, the baseball-themed one that I can't remember the name of. If you are looking for a weapon that's not at the tip-top of the meta, but it's still super fun and really effective to use, look no further than this Honeybadger class setup on the M13. If you did enjoy this one, or it did help you out at all, make sure you do leave a like and do subscribe if you are new around here. We recently passed 600 subscribers, and now we're rocketing towards 700, which is absolutely insane, especially when we did hit 600 on Monday, I think it was, which is absolutely insane. And all the likes and comments that you guys do leave really help me out by letting me know that you are enjoying the content. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I will see you in the next video. Bye!